From a deadly standoff in 2015 at a kosher supermarket in Paris to Vienna, where 4 people were killed in a rampage outside the Stadttempel synagogue last year. And then there is the desecration of Jewish graves, like these in eastern France. In Brussels, Rabbi Albert Guigui now wears a baseball cap when he goes out to hide his very identity. Of course I wear a yarmulke at home, he says, but outside I prefer to cover my head less conspicuously. It's not healthy, he explains, to live in an atmosphere of fear and where you feel hunted. I think that as well as being vigilant, we must tackle the evil at the root of the problem, and that is about being different. The Holocaust killed an estimated 6 million Jews in Europe, but as living memory gives way to fading footage, so denial grows and hate speech returns. As well as the tension around COVID lockdowns, the violence between Israel and Hamas in the Middle East in May also drove hate towards Jews across Europe, like here in Berlin, or in Brussels, where the chants spoke of ancient battles between Jews and Muslims.
You do see a cyclical increase in expressions of anti-Semitism and also anti-Semitic violence linked to events in the Middle East. But if we look more broadly at the phenomenon of anti-Semitism in Europe, we see that it's much older and also much wider, and it's really a European issue.
The hate is also spreading online, according to Human Rights Watch. Horrific cartoons like this one, depicting Jews with a big hook nose. Or this one in France of a conspiracy theory blaming Jews for the pandemic and shared, he says mistakenly, by a candidate in recent regional elections. The European Commission has a deal with tech companies to remove offensive content within 24 hours, but only once it's been alerted. This is the memorial in the very heart of Vienna to the 65,000 Austrian Jews who were deported during World War II. Most did not survive. It's a reminder of where words and conspiracy theories can lead, but it's also a reminder of Europe's own very violent, homegrown history of anti-Semitism, an anti-Semitism that has never quite disappeared. Prayers continue to be heard all over Europe. From the center of Paris to the old Stadttempel synagogue in Vienna. Eddie Rosen says that his grandparents' approach of keeping a low profile after the Holocaust was understandable, but ultimately misguided. European Jews keeping their heads down, he says, has not prevented anti-Semitism from rearing its head once again.
That's right.
Contrary to my grandparents, I will tell my son, or I would tell young Jewish people to be proud of being Jewish.
The pandemic has fueled the return of hate speech to Europe 80 years after the Holocaust began, just a lifetime before Europe begins to forget precisely what the world had vowed it never would. Melissa Bell, CNN.